It's easy as 1, 2, 3 finding a company that excels in electrical, plumbing, AC installation and repairs, painting and much more. SAS Electrical is here for you, giving you excellent service, great rates, timely completion. Contact SAS Electrical at 709-9215 or 359-1014. Call us today. SAS Electrical. Streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more. GLS 103.5 out of Tobago.
In your face, all over the place. We're online. You're listening to the hottest internet station
In the Caribbean, GLS
103.5.
out of Tobago. Buckle up those seatbelts. No drinking and driving. No overtaking on the shoulders. No texting and driving. Your family awaits you at home. Drive to arrive alive. A message from GLS 103.5.
This is an SOS from the Trinidad. Location 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. SOS, SOS, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Help! Help! The Trinidad, a luxury liner, sailing the Caribbean Sea with an old captain named Eric Williams. For years, sailed smooth and free, but sadly Eric Williams passed away. The ship hit rough water that day. Someone turned the bridge over to a captain named Chambers. Me blood crawl, things start to fall. Hold me head when I sail a ball. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we stay on it and perish slow? We don't know, we don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa. The Trinidad, oh, she was a beauty with wealth that few surpassed. And in her day, she sailed majestically. There were few in her class. Faithfully, she fulfilled her sailor's need. Some were overpowered by greed, and so they pilfered slow. Some took bite, bulk, and go. Now she looked dull, she's at the lull. She could barely sit on her hull. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough, oh yes. We gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we stay on it and perish slow? We don't know, we don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Trinidad, in her day of sailing, she was a friend to one and all. She never once ever hesitated to answer all SOS calls. And yes, well, she always did her best to help out those in distress. some of them cheer and sarcastically declare, Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. We gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship or shall we sit on it and perish slow? We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa. If only there was something I could have done to restore the credibility of this beautiful vessel. Money's no problem. Now there's a lot of fingers pointing, suspicion running strong. Who's to be blamed for all her failures? Who's to be blamed for doing her wrong? Now please remember I'm warning you, for 30 years she had the same crew who hold the keys to her fault. So we know who's at fault. Now it's up to you, it's up to me to make her worthy to go back to sea. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship or shall we stay on it and perish slow? We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me. Oh, yo, yo. We don't know. We don't know. You tell me. Oh, we don't know. We don't know. Put up a flag. Oh gosh, we don't know. When we turn to the World Bank for help. Oh, oh, aye, oh.
Yes, I say we don't know. Good afternoon to one and all. As we broadcasting live out of the Sister Isle of Tobago.
We don't know. We don't know. Somebody put an application to the World Bank. Probably we may get some help to do the repairs. We don't know. We don't know.
I'd like to say good afternoon to each and everyone on the lives. Good afternoon goes out to Kelly Thomas out here in Trinidad. Good afternoon to you and yours. Good afternoon to Cathy Davis. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the Sharp family. Good afternoon to the Bruce family. Good afternoon to one and all inside. As we now actually inside. Good afternoon to Cathy Molaris out there in Trinidad. Good afternoon, and how are you going? All right, once again, welcome to GLS 103.5. Good afternoon to Randa Sunday as well. We are inside. This is where we actually... Hey, yes, Randa, good evening to you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the topic where we discuss Tobago issues. And also with Mr. Charles with me this afternoon once again. It's Tuesday. Thank God for health. Thank God for life. Thank God for having us in his company once again this afternoon. We are here this afternoon. We're streaming worldwide, as you can see us there. All right. I'd like to say also good afternoon. Most pleasant afternoon goes out to Mr. Charles. He is the actually person who actually, as I would say, this is his show, where we basically educate people out there in the world. Good afternoon to Shirla Gibbs. Good afternoon to you and to your family as well. Everyone, don't forget, locked into GLS online radio station. We will see all your comments. Send your comments. We are right here to take your comments and to also educate you as we go about with our proceeding this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Charles. And how are you?
As usual, good afternoon, and good afternoon to your listeners and maybe viewers
Of course.
And we are here today, Tuesday, and our business is to provide some information to the world,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
especially to our people here in Tobago, because education is the tool for the liberation of our people.
Yes. Yes.
Education is the key to
Yes.
liberating your people, and we recognize that there are a lot of ignorance outside there. From one thing to the other, and today, I don't know, we said last week that when we get here today, we are going to talk about the determinants of poverty.
Yes.
You know, I did not remember. I am sitting down this evening doing a special thing, and just before I leave home, telephone rang.
Uh-huh.
And I could call the name, is I-95.5 wanted me to speak now, and I said, oh my God, wrong timing. So I just rushed out, so I pick up the document, and I was looking at it, and something just, I saw on it. I saw on that document, I'm sure that I'm going to share it, that the determinants of poverty is what we thought we are going to be talking about today because it's crucial.
Yes.
But I think because of what's happening in the world with this COVID-19
Yes.
and what is happening to Tobago, that's a pressing current issue.
Oh, yes.
I think that we need to share something on that first, and then we go to talk about the determinants of poverty.
Of course. Just permit me one moment to say good afternoon to Katian out there in Trinidad. Good afternoon to you.
Cathy Davis? No, Kate
Kate
Davis
Davis,
joined.
I call that person already.
Right.
I now saw them send a message
Rhonda
on.
Sandy joined, yes.
Also, I'd like to say good afternoon to Tony King. Also, good afternoon to my good boy NKA, better known as Nashon. He's right outside station. That's my boy there. All right, so yes, back to what we were discussing, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, I think that you remember when I came here, I said to you
We're on the air.
and to the world
Yeah.
that my tool of trade, the tool of my trade is
yeah.
one, the manual for human being, which is my holy Bible.
Yes, correct.
Two, the constitution of the country, because that contains the framework of all the laws and so on. And three, because we are in Tobago space,
Yes.
the Tobago House of Assembly Act, because that
Yeah.
is the constitution, as I say, by which we operate.
By which,
Tobago.
yes, so true.
Nothing happens without God. And we have to start there.
So true.
And we leave that there for the time being. I'm sure we're going to talk about what's happening. People have been warned, you know.
Yes, yes.
I came here and I did a document some time ago talk about the deepening crisis. You remember that? I read out the complete document in 1999 January and said that if I had not mentioned the date, people were going to believe.
Yes.
You are
It's
going to
something
get.
that was.
You are going to get a couple more. The address that I deliver, I'm not going to deliver that this evening. I will be delivering the COVID. You might be surprised to see this is the 10th of July 1999 when I launched the Millennium 2000 Today concert. When I call the media, remember the concert took place where you call Ring Bang?
The Ring Bang,
where you
yes.
call so. Remember I told you what it was?
Yes.
Millennium 2000 Today concert.
Yes.
That was launched and explained to the nation and the world on the 10th day of July 1999 at 10 a.m. And the whole country was happy with it. Politics messed it up.
Yes.
But I am going to one day come and read that address. It's not long, not
Right.
today.
Right.
The people understand where we are today. And the things I say in it
Yes.
look like if it's now.
So true.
What is culture as industry? Culture is not entertainment. That is what this was saying. So let's talk about now. I'm only saying those because we want to deal with COVID.
Yes, yes.
We said that there is going to be a crisis in this country in 2017.
Yes, I remember you discussed that, yes.
And it is time that the government of Trinidad and Tobago deal with the self-government matter for Tobago, so that Tobago is going to get its power to determine how we are governed on this island.
Yes.
You remember these words? Listen to this. When I said them. In fact, I've been saying it for years. If there is a disaster in Trinidad, whether that disaster is man-made or natural disaster,
yes.
and Trinidad is destroyed, and I remember I said, God forbid about 3 times, God forbid. If that happens, even if the disaster did not touch the island of Tobago, Tobago is dead.
Yes.
You know, for this last week, this week, the number of people at every level in society repeating that, say, Mr. Charles told us this, you know.
Yes, you actually
Because
spoke about it.
very soon, I'm talking about it could be this week.
Yes.
Because you listen to the statements that have been made by the government.
Yes.
That they're not, for the time being, they restrict the travel
Yes.
on the air bridge and on the sea bridge.
On the sea bridge as well,
It's only half the passengers will be carrying right now because of the social distancing, which is not a bad thing. Social distancing, because of the problem we have in the world, is so important.
Correct.
But social distancing, let me just drop this inside there, does not mean that you must be distant. Social distancing does not mean that you must be distant. Because, and we can talk about it in a short while, that you can call people, talk to them and so on, but that's not the issue I'm on now. So just now, they said, for the time being, we're going to allow the ferry service to continue to run.
Yes.
There is coming a time now, from what I understand, that they may stop the boat from running. That's Tobago's lifeblood.
Yes.
And that's why we have been talking to people. God has done that to open up the eyes of Tobagonians. To say, look, we want to have our self-government in Tobago. We're not breaking up the nation, so that we could be able to see about ourselves.
Yes.
I am listening to the news this afternoon in coming here, and it is so false and wrong. We are giving the world wrong impression. And the information would have come out of some press conference held yesterday by the Secretary for Health and Tourism, so Secretary for Health and whatever else it is, Ms. Tracy Davidson. And the information on the news this afternoon is that Tobago has its first case of COVID.
Of COVID, yeah.
COVID-19.
Yes.
And we are now sending, that's what the world will believe in. I need to clarify it. And we are now sending, they are making arrangement for that Tobago case to go down to Trinidad for treatment.
Yeah.
That's not so. The person who is in Tobago came in on an international, is that Trinidadian?
Is that Trinidadian, yes.
That came in on an international flight straight into Tobago.
Yeah.
And as you know, the health people here would have been doing whatever, once a flight come in and so on, do the test and so on, and found that person. And then the test was done after a couple of days, following the protocol, which is quite right and proper.
Yes.
And yesterday, they found that that person is one. That is a confirmed case. So it's actually a Trinidadian who would have come from abroad and come into the Tobago and put into quarantine in Tobago. And now that person is now tested positive. So the person is actually going back home in Trinidad. He's not a Tobagonian.
Exactly.
So let me clear that up.
Yes.
The information is so wrong.
Yes.
But it is also saying something else to us. If we, for example, let's assume interaction would have taken place in Tobago, and we have Tobago cases.
Yes.
We have a Tobago case. A real Tobagonian who contract that because of the interaction with visitors from outside. An imported case. What do? We can't deal with it.
We can't deal with it. So true.
And this is what self-government says that we need to say. When they lock down Trinidad, because the borders are closed.
Yes.
When you lock down Trinidad, and I remember I spent some time the last week saying that the capital of Trinidad and Tobago is Port of Spain. People didn't understand until now. They say, oh my God, you're right. I don't talk like that. I mean, this thing 40-something years, journeying in this.
Yes.
And as you know, you come by my place, you saw something. You're talking to your friends about that, and so on and so on. Nobody knew what I do,
Of course. Oh, Lord.
So we need the opportunity in every crisis
Yes.
There is danger
Yes.
and there is opportunity.
Opportunities.
In every crisis situation, there is danger and there is opportunity.
Yes.
We focusing on the danger, but we are not grasping the opportunities that are created. The opportunities created now for Tobago is for all of us to speak with one Tobago voice to ensure that the parliament pass the legislation now so that the institutions of governance in Tobago, the people of Tobago, will have the authority and the right to take care of our people in this kind of crisis time. You can't say Trinidad is going to be so. In fact, they are already overwhelmed. They are overwhelmed. And it is going to be, because the Prime Minister addressed the nation yesterday, said that there are going to be more cases. He didn't say might be. He said there are going to be many more cases in Trinidad when they are overwhelmed. Who is going to see about Tobago? Okay. We don't have all the authority here. And that is what God is doing to make sure that Tobago exit from this kind of situation. There are a lot of... The whole tourism industry shut down in Tobago. And you know that?
Yes.
It closed down because there is no maritime movement. All borders are closed down in the world, so nobody's traveling.
Yes, so true.
And I understand that I'm the Minister of Finance, and I'm saying it's a good move, but I don't think that they have completely done the full assessment of what is required in order to compensate the people for the kind of losses. Is everybody gone home in the tourism industry? Everybody gone home. And just remember, tourism is not a one item. It's a cluster of activities. Exactly. It's tourism, it's entertainment, it's hospitality. People have to understand, because you have to have accommodation. Yes. You have to feed the people. You have to, it's a lot of stuff that is involved. So everybody, including the farmers and the fishermen who supply the food and the fish to those places, they're going to be down to because they're supplying. It's the whole Tobago economy that is down as a result of this one thing.
Let's just take some comments and some shout out. Let me just do the shout out first. Good afternoon to Roger James. Good afternoon to Roger D. I should say good afternoon to my good boy Undertaker. Good afternoon to Carol Thomas. Good afternoon to Jew. And also to Alicia Fernandez. To Mr. Romeo, just ask a question. So
what do we into?
Okay.
What can we do?
Yes.
We just remember, law, as I pointed out, the law is the tool for the implementation of government policy.
Yeah.
You notice the government in Trinidad making decisions, including passing laws, enforcing certain laws and so on. Close down those bars, no gathering, so that you could be able to curb the spread of the thing. We can't do nothing in Tobago. We're helpless because you can't pass any laws. You don't have your international government. So everything has been run from Trinidad, even though they do not know specifically what is happening in Tobago. And that is what self-government is all about. And that is where God is opening up the Tobagonians' eyes to understand that we're not talking about breaking up the nation. We're talking about strengthening the nation and put the protection of the people of Tobago in the hands of the Tobagonian, who the people of Tobago select as the government in Tobago. But it still remain one nation, one prime minister, one president, but they no longer going to be making decisions that affect our life, whether positively or adversely in Tobago. It's so important, and that is what is happening. You will see what we are out of food. There's going to be famine. In fact, the famine begins in the world. What is Tobago's position? What is Tobago's position? So when they talk about we have enough food for 3 months in Trinidad, it's the warehouses in Trinidad, plus what maybe Penny Save and the other couple of people in Tobago may have. It no more coming into the country. So it means that will run out. We have famine.
Thanks, Mr. Torrell.
And I'm not frightening people in the entire world. And it's not famine because of lack of water or because of drought, because of this illness where everything is shut down in the world. All of our goods are imported into this place, and there is no movement, no ship coming to bring anything.
Yes.
And we can't protect ourselves. It's a serious issue, you know. You said that there's a question? Talk to them, sir. If somebody say, Teron Anderson say, talk to them, good sir. Yeah, this is what I am doing, to talk to them so that their eyes would be open. And I think that it is God, that is operating in this, to open the eyes of the people of Tobago to understand that you can, just like every other Caribbean country that are English speaking right now, every one of them, as you know, that is English speaking. They were under British rule. When the people grew up, Grenada, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Kitts, Nevis, all of them would have gone to Britain and said, hey, we become of age now. You can't stay in England and tell us what to do in the country. We want to run our country. That's why they could protect it. Let's assume that most of the Caribbean countries right now, like Tobago, is still under Trinidad control, who are not, and they have this COVID virus. You know what would have happened to the Caribbean? Wiped out completely. That's the point Tobago is making in that context of Trinidad.
Let's take a next comment from Mr. Romeo there.
We need equal rights and justice, yes.
Who can, no, just now this is here. Who can we put there? You only, okay.
Yeah, the people of Tobago, I am sure, are of age. They are not foolish. They are educated people. They are sensible people. They are people with common sense. And when the time comes when the legislation is passed, just like every other country in the Caribbean, they will know who are the people they should put there in order to administer this new thing on their behalf. They will know. So it's not an individual that picking anybody for them. It's the population of Tobago will determine that by the way they vote. Of course, there's going to be an election, and then you are going to vote for the people who you believe will be able to deliver this thing to you. You know all of us. You have been seeing it. You have been seeing us. You have been seeing the organization. You know all the people, and you are the one who must decide who you would want to deliver this new dispensation on behalf of the people of Tobago. But it must happen.
Yes.
Or else we're going to, in fact, I am talking about this week, next week, you will see what will happen in this country.
Well, so far, that's what we really see.
And when food run out in Trinidad, just remember, the Prime Minister lives in Trinidad.
Of course.
Where is from Tobago now? All the ministers are from down, most of the ministers, they are all from down there, the cabinet, they are from Trinidad. When the food run out in the country, they're not going to be seen about you in Tobago, Because 1 million people live down there, They will make demand for the food, No boat will be able to leave there to bring anything to Tobago for us. This thing is opening up the eyes of the people of Tobago. And had we been there, and that's what we're saying for the last how many years, we were saying to you, don't wait until you are thirsty to dig your well. You remember that? We have been saying that to the country. Explaining the same situation, Do not wait until you are thirsty to start to look for your water.
Just permit me one moment.
Yes.
Mr. Romeo is saying that you are the only person that you see that could run Tobago.
Well, I'm sure.
And good afternoon also to Lee.
I'm sure that there may be other people who may have other people in mind too. But I'm still saying, people are listening to us, they are hearing us. I have no particular interest except that I want to see the people of Tobago free.
Yes.
And if the people of Tobago say, look, we are convinced that you and your team are the people to run this. When the time comes, that's what you should do. And stop looking at favorites. Stop looking at the person who wear a nice shirt and a nice pants, and look at the person who could deliver that thing to you and to empower you and to put you where you should be.
Yes, yeah.
Not about yourself. Not about politics is not about entertainment.
Yes.
It's not about show. It's about solving the people's problem.
Let's just take a comment from Mr. Anderson
Wow. We need our own things here. Yes. Why things have to go to Trinidad and to come back up. Yeah, we're saying that for years. Because of the fact that you do not have your self-government. What self-government means, as I pointed out to you, government without outside interference.
So true.
So that we could be able to determine those things, but you have to get the power to do it.
Yes.
And the law that is going to be passed is going to give you the power to do it, just like England used to run everything before. All the laws were there, and then they give Trinidad and Tobago, they pass the law in England and give Trinidad and Tobago the internal self-government. After that, they would have moved on to independence, then they would have moved on to republic status. But the initial thing is that the self-government you need to have. The same thing happened in Jamaica. The same thing happened in Grenada, Antigua, all of them begin the same place. Sometimes you don't even need to move. But since Trinidad and Tobago have been operating like this, we may not even need to move from self-government. But we still remain a nation and still remain with the one prime minister, but they cannot do things in Tobago.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Winston Lead. Sending some comments there. He say good afternoon to you, Mr. Charles, and then he comments.
Yes, Brother Lead.
Yes.
We have been saying this for a long time, but I think God always says this, that I send my prophets.
Yes.
I do nothing except I reveal it in Joel. Reveal it to my servants, the prophet.
Yes.
But when you don't hear his prophets, because you may say, who is he? What is he saying?
Yes.
When you don't hear his prophets, he speak to his prophets, and when you don't hear them, he will speak to nature. And that is what happening now. He's speaking to nature. We can't deny what is happening now. We have been talking these things all the time, explaining, people not understanding and believing. Now you're seeing the shutdown. Now you're seeing the isolation. We have been saying this, imagine. We are saying, if there is a disaster in Trinidad that damage Trinidad, Tobago, even though the disaster did not touch Tobago, Tobago is dead because everything comes from Trinidad. Although it is taken from Tobago, you have to go down there.
Yes.
The banks are down there. You bank your money in Tobago, but you have no bank in Tobago, no headquarters in Tobago. The headquarters are all in Trinidad. All the managements are in Trinidad.
Yes.
The unit trust in Tobago, you bank your money there, and something destroy Trinidad, you lose that money because Trinidad destroy, all your money gone.
And let's take
That's what self-government is doing.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Alvin Samaru, and let's take a comment from Mr. Winston Lead.
Who is that? I like the thoughts, Mr. Charles. These are not only thoughts, and I like him, and I'm happy for it. These are something that have been documented. Programs have been worked on for the last 20 years. It is the people of Tobago did not understand that they ended up putting back Tobago in the hands of Trinidad.
The last one in the bottom that he commented on, this one, yeah.
I have noticed that we have to go to Trinidad again for... Yes.
Yes.
Because, why that is so? Is because the voters in Tobago would have voted and given the PNM in Tobago the House of Assembly that we fight for years. And what that will mean is that the PNM is a Trinidad party controlled by Trinidadians, and we have voted for their agents in Tobago, so everything is being managed from down there. So whatever they tell them, that is what they do to our detriment.
Yes.
So Mr. Leet is quite right. That is what we have been saying for years. And since the people could not understand properly what we are saying, or they refuse to understand, God is now speaking through nature. We are forced to understand now. But the only danger is we thirsty. And we're now looking for a well. Oh Lord, by the time we find the water, we may die. God forbid, God will help us.
Let's take our comments from Mr. Anderson again here. We need a
proper basketball indoor. All of that will come self. Well, that is a small issue, man.
Yes.
We're talking about bigger issues
that we are seeing.
Big issues.
In place.
I just want to say that is a small issue. That small issue of basketball court.
Yeah, but it's a good thing to bring up something like that because
I'm saying to
we don't have.
No, that's the point I'm making to him. I'm saying to him, that's a small issue to be done. Always an important issue to be done. But the major thing is to get your power. When you get your power, all of those things that will be done. Yeah, man, so important.
Yes, it is.
Everything gone back in Trinidad how it is because the people are your agent.
Yes,
the PNM party is a Trinidad party, and they are sending up candidates in Tobago. They have done so, and people in Tobago voted for the candidates of those parties. And what has happened is that everything is being run from down there because the principals are in Trinidad.
Yes.
And that was self-government said that is not supposed to be. So because self-government means that government without outside interference. But what you now have is the Trinidad party who control you, that you try to get away from by getting yourself government. We vote for their candidates in Tobago. They now become agent of the party in Trinidad, continuing the same thing that we try to get away from. That's what Tobago would have done. But God now make it happen now that we are going to be locked down.
It opened up the eyes. It's supposed to open up the eyes of everyone now.
I thought to thank Father God for doing it. You're sorry that it is COVID.
Yes.
And you know, it is such a dangerous thing. So I'm saying, so some of the things that they are putting in place. Remember when I was here last week?
Yes.
The minister would have said at that time, because of the fall in oil prices, that the budget will be cut by about 3 billion or 5 billion. Today, and I said to you and said to the world,
Yes, you had said it last.
it is going to be greater than about 10 billion or more. Today he said 9 billion. I heard him today, 9 billion. Listen, and that he started counting. Because I don't think these are guesstimates. Remember I told you last night it was guesstimate?
Yes.
Guesstimate.
Yes, but you were on. I should say you were on a direct target.
But of course,
because
today said about 9 billion you have to find to deal with this, and they have not done all the calculations yet and all the assessment. It's worse than that. Tobago would have been in a position now had the people of Tobago not given back Tobago to PNM to continue to run it from Trinidad. Tobago would have been in a position today, we gave all the data, to be able to finance Trinidad because everything shut down.
Yes.
Because the money would have been made in 5 years between 2001 and 2006. We are going to make 42.9 billion TT dollars to see about Tobago. We are going to help Trinidad right now. We are going to. Then I listened yesterday that there are 3 machines that can really accurately do the test that CAFA had. That is the public health thing, that Caribbean public health. They are the ones that could do the reliability. 3 machines came in.
3 machines. Wow.
None come to Tobago.
Wow. So you still have to go to Trinidad.
They send the one going Mount Hope, one going in south, and one going somewhere else. So it means then that we have no machine that can accurately test, accurately like CAFA, and the other 3 places in Trinidad that those will be going to will be able to do the test in Tobago. We would have been able to see about that.
Yes, Tobago would have their own voice.
Tobago, wake up!
It's time, yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to Greg out there in Toronto.
Yeah.
Let's take Mr. Samaru comments.
Mr.
Mr. Alvin Samaru, just comment there.
Passport now taking 10 weeks. That's what the officers telling applicants.
Well, look at that.
Can anybody say the reason why? We can't answer that. It has to be foolishness. Somebody gave something in Jamaica and some other country in the last couple of weeks. How many days it taking to get a passport? Why is it taking that kind of time in Trinidad and Tobago? When Tobago guys sell government, the passport would not take that time at all to be done. It's just nonsense.
So
Their machine readable passport, you get all the documentation and so on. It should not take that time. Why is it? What's the reason? Absolutely no reason.
Yes.
I don't want to be dealing with, we are tied up with Trinidad. Trinidad is corrupted. Not only that, everything you have to pass something to somebody. The designing system that makes room for corruption. And that is where delaying everything in the country. You have to put godly people into office. And when you come to Tobago, that will be done so that you could be able to get these things done in a quick space of time. Long ago, passport used to take 7 days.
Yes, no Trinidadians, I don't want us to get the wrong message. So I want to make sure that we get it clear. We are not separating Trinidad from Tobago. What we are doing is asking for Tobago own self-government. This is what the topic and the issues is basically about here.
But they know, we have been explaining that all the time. Trinidad know that we still remain Trinidad and Tobago. We still have one coinage. We still have the same embassies about Tobago not going to have it. Internal self-government means the right of the people to determine what is best for the people in Tobago. How you develop Tobago, Trinidad must not have a say. Just like how we have no say how Trinidad develop, the Tobagonians have no say how they develop Trinidad.
Exactly.
But the Trinidad now dictating how Tobago is developed. It's wrong. It's contrary to even the United Nations Charter.
Yes,
You're not talking about breaking up nothing, you're strengthening the nation.
Yes, Mr. Anderson. I now see a
It's
comment.
hurting and really unfair to Tobago people.
Yes.
Of course. It's unfair to anybody in the world. And in fact, Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad is a signatory to the United Nations Charter that says that every people have a right to self-determination. And that is why America is the most powerful nation on earth today. And I want to remind us that the America started, what you call the New World?
The New World, yeah.
It's people from England, you know. It's the British people from England that go down, you ever read the Pilgrim Progress? That leave them, go down in England, go down into America and start developing.
Right,
and America and England want to continue to run the show because they were British people.
Yes.
Listen to me. You remember the Boston Tea Party? And the people in America who are British people who started America said to them, you can't tax us. The same thing happened in India with Mahatma Gandhi. You can't tax us if we don't have nobody in the parliament in England.
Yes.
So the joke is no taxation without representation. So if they are part of the British Parliament, then we will decide whether we should be taxed or not. We must have a say in that. And Britain want to enforce that. I want to take my time to say this.
Yes.
You know what the British people who know American did? It's a revolution, you know.
Yes.
In the 4th of July 1776, the American War of Independence is a war they fight against Britain and win. And they become what? The most powerful nation in the world today.
Yes.
But they had to fight a war against Britain, who was the mother country at the time. We're not fighting any war with Trinidad. Give us our self-government. And you'll be surprised to see what will happen in Tobago, that we could be able to help our sister in Trinidad all the time.
Yes, so true.
My
So
God.
let us talk Tobago issues. Let us deal with Tobago issues as it comes.
It's so important.
Yes, Mr. Good afternoon to Kimberly Leacock.
Trinidad
And
will now
also
recognize
Yes.
in the next couple of days the things we have been saying out of Tobago for years now. Because just remember, with the budget being cut, we see cut, reduced because no money coming. Trade not even taking place. No US, because some of the things that bring in like tourism and so on, that bringing in direct foreign exchange into the country, that closed down. Government had to now find money. Just remember, the budget was read 57 billion.
Yes.
On the price of oil at $60 per barrel and 275 per MMBTU for the gas. That now down to nothing. That down to 130 and going down.
Yeah.
So if the budget has to cut by over $10 billion, it means then that the government has to cut back their expenditure or go and borrow some money. When you borrow money, the country has to pay back that you know.
money, yes.
You have to find some way of dealing with that. So the things that the government plan to do for this year will not be able to be done. And so the revenue they expect, they can't get it because the revenue source dry up. Then you're not going to be getting, and then just remember, because of the COVID now, those things were not factored into the budget, you know. These are extra expenses and they are very costly to deal with COVID. That was not in the original budget.
Yes, so true.
So everything that on topsy-turvy. Where's the money coming from to deal with that? And I'm saying Tobago would have been in a position because of the things we are going to be doing, not depending upon oil and gas well. But remember the things that we talk about, that you're not looking at the unused potential of Tobago in order, like our ring bang. That is culturally, as culture as industry. We're going to be making money. Our tapes that have been selling over the world to make money for this place here to supplement the loss of revenue because of what's happening in the country today. And that is what self-government will do to a nation. So if the government in Trinidad make a decision and it is detrimental, Tobago will not go down with it. Tobago will be making a separate decision here with regards to Tobago.
Yes.
Everything is done in Trinidad by the cabinet. So if they make one error, and it's an error that it is so detrimental, it will affect the whole country. That's why America is so powerful. And because they are most decentralized. You still have one president, you know.
One president.
But at the same time, every state have their own government.
Yes, and that is exactly
because they know their own locality, their own environment, the people there, they vote to put the government in place. Imagine New York may very well shut down They may ban something, but then the other states not banning. I mean, that's what self-government is. Self-government is not breaking up like America is strengthening.
Yes, so true. So true. So people,
If you notice, when God created the world, his intention was family. The family. Before they start to our churches, you know what used to happen? The manual said that, the Bible said that. It is the father, is the priest in the home, is the head of the household and the priest.
yes,
It's in the home they used to break bread and do communion. Before you start to have families meeting in places like the temple outside. We have been doing too many activities in the churches and forget that social responsibility. Right now you can't congregate and you can't go in church. We are forced back. God is on his way, We are forced back into the family to sort out the things that God wants us to sort out in the family. Clean up your house, fix up the family, become more united, become more kind and more loving. Teach back the things that you're supposed to teach. Like what COVID would have done.
yes,
You know there have been two, quickly, I just say it by passing. You know there have been two quarantine in the Bible, or three. You never know they are quarantine in the Bible, just like what we have now.
like
You remember when the Israelites were in bondage in Egypt, and God called Moses to send him down to tell Pharaoh to let them go, set his people free. You remember it was 9 plague, and then the
Yes.
10th plague was what? When the 10th plague was wrought, what did God tell them to do? Put the blood, kill your lamb, put the blood on the lintel and on the 2 posts, and go inside. Wait, do what? Go inside.
Yes.
Because what? Death passing outside. COVID outside. COVID-19 outside.
This is how we say now.
If you go outside, you're dead.
Yes,
The first male born of anything died.
Yes.
No, that was a quarantine.
Yes.
He quarantined his people for what? For exit. That is how Pharaoh said, go.
Yes.
Because they were quarantined and protected by God. None of them died. So there was a period of quarantine. For the purpose of exiting is a story I tell you with regards to Tobago and Trinidad. There was another one in Isaiah 26:20, where God tell them go in your house and stay there, because they're passing to destroy all the evil that's taking place. Check it. Isaiah 26:20. The book of Isaiah, chapter 26:20. There was a quarantine. He said, go in your house, lock your door, and stay there because I'm passing.
Yes.
All the evil.
That was a plague as
That's why we are quarantine.
yes.
We're now in quarantine again, so every family now in their house.
Exactly. Come back once again.
If you go outside, they don't COVID check you. So it's a serious thing,
Yes.
And I think when the government has put in, oh Lord, somebody said, Alvin Cerami said, that is true, Mr. Charles. There is.
Yes, that is true.
We're now going to strengthen back the families. Remember, we came here before and I said something before. Sometimes some of these things have to be repeated. That if we focus and fix the families, that the whole country is going to be fixed.
Yes.
And I explained. Every single institution in Trinidad and Tobago, from the judiciary, the parliament, the immigration, custom, education, health, works, the scavenging people, all of these people come from what? Families in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we concentrate and fix the families to make them godly people, that they must not be corrupted, we train them well to do things that are right, pleasing, and proper in God's sight, and they go to education to work, you would have no corruption, you would have no nepotism, you would have no thieving, you would have no emptying of the treasury. And that is what God must be saying. All you go back, come back to me, and start to do the things that are right.
Yes. Let's take this comment from Mr. Alvin Samaru. If Tobago gets some government,
they will not have that is what self-government means. We'll have control over Tobago.
Yes, yes.
That is what it means. They will have control over Tobago, just like when Trinidad get its self-government and Grenada get its self-government and Jamaica get its self-government from Britain, from England, they had control over those places. So Tobago now is in the position where Grenada and Barbados and Trinidad was in relation to England. Tobago is now that to Trinidad. So Trinidad is like England now, and Tobago is like Trinidad or Grenada or Barbados. So now, when they pass the self-government, we will now have control over Tobago, though we still remain one nation. But the Tobago is going to see about the things of Tobago, the development program, the whole works. We're going to be responsible for that, including passing laws for our own protection in Tobago. Not interfering with Trinidad, you not interfering with us. But then there are things in Trinidad and Tobago that are common to both Trinidad and Tobago because we still remain one. For example, like the coinage. We will have let me just call it government, comprising of Tobago and Trinidad, not big, that will be making decisions on those things. But you're not going to be making a decision in Trinidad about the health and education and water and electricity for Tobago. Neither will Tobago be doing that to you in Trinidad. Those things are not common to us. We have our own space, but things that are common to us, then you would have Tobago and Trinidad making those decisions. That was the government did.
Yes, so true.
It's so important.
Yes, so Mr. Alvin, yes, that's your answer there, that you just received that.
Yeah, they will have control.
They will have control. Right, and this is what the one body, the one Tobago voice is basically all about.
Yeah, well, that is what one Tobago voice is educating the population on. Most of the other groups that have been here, political groups, they were not seeing that until now. Some of them are now seeing it. All they were seeing is, we want to replace somebody as chief secretary, but then when you do that, you now recognize that the things that you want to do, your power is still residing in Trinidad. So you were just fighting a useless fight. So you fight and win somebody, and you take over, and you can't do this stuff because you have no power to do it, because the power still resides with the parliament and government in Trinidad. So self-government now will make sure that that power now is devolved onto Tobago by law, so that we could be able to do our own business in Tobago.
And that is, this is what we are trying to get away from, that we here in Tobago should have to make our own decision, and this is what it is all about.
Yeah, but it's every country in the world, and I always want to repeat it several times. Sometimes I am in Plymouth and I hear people say, "What Tobago get and what Tobago?" That is independence you're discussing.
Yes.
That is independence. Although you can give them the truth, that it is Tobago is the rich country in Trinidad and the rich island in Trinidad and Tobago.
Like someone told me recently that they were listening to the program and they said it's only here that they really get to know that Tobago is one of the richest. And
it's the richest island in the Caribbean.
Yeah, so I myself, along with Nashon today, we were out in the field, and someone actually mentioned that said thing as well.
What they mentioned?
That Tobago is one of the rich, that not one, but Tobago
the richest.
Is the richest. He even spoke about the Stolly Park with the the quarry, which part, all the things they're leaving to go to Trinidad. He also discussed about all those. The same thing that you had spoken about.
He wasn't listening to the program.
Yeah, the person.
And Dr. Williams would have made a statement, and we said it on this program already. On the 7th of June, so Mr. Samaru is a new one, and a couple others, that they can go into the Parliament thing and look at the Hansard. 7th of June, 1957, Dr. William made this statement in Parliament that Tobago exchanged the neglect of British imperialism for Trinidad imperialism. Meaning that Tobago was once under Britain. Before we joined up in Trinidad in 1898.
Okay.
We were under England. They didn't treat us right. But we now join up with Trinidad. And Trinidad did not treat us right. That was the point Dr. Williams was making in 1957. What he said, Tobago exchanged the neglect of British colonial imperialism for Trinidad imperialism. Listen to, he ain't finished there. He said Tobago is paying a price for the union with Trinidad that Tobago ought never to pay. So we're paying a price by being with Trinidad. Then he finally ended up saying, whatever Trinidad gives to Tobago is a small mite that it could be 100 billion. Is a small mite that Trinidad must pay for this union. We didn't understand. He didn't want us to understand either. But what he was actually saying is the same point I make here before. You know how many times I do it in the week for people who ask me? What Dr. Williams was saying is this, that Trinidad is locked in between Tobago and Venezuela. You can't change that because that is how it is.
Yes, that's how it is. Yeah.
But because Venezuela is independent, if Tobago was independent, it's going to be like this. Venezuela independent. It's not part of Trinidad. It is 7 miles of water between Trinidad and Venezuela. By the law of the sea, 3.5 miles, we're using it wrong, 3.5 miles of that water is Venezuela, and 3.5 is Trinidad. This is what explains the fact that the Guardia Nacional, the Venezuelan National Guard, will come right there in Trinidad, right in the Gulf, and lock up fishermen, take up a rig, because you're in the 3.5, you cross the 3.5 miles, and you're gone over in Venezuela territory. It's only since I start to explain this that people tell me, are you so mad, get mad when I say that? Yes. And the government in Trinidad not doing anything for we. And I said, you cross over in the people and them territory. Yes. No, let's come to Tobago. That's what William was saying. Between Trinidad and Tobago is 22 miles of water. If Tobago was independent like Venezuela or Grenada or Barbados, the water would have been divided just so half-half. So 11 miles of that water would have been Trinidad and 11 miles Tobago. Let me examine. When it's only now when I talk, people now saying even Trinidad say, oh, we didn't understand. This is truth. Because you can't change the boundaries, they're still there. Tobago one place, you can't move it. You can't move Trinidad, you can't move Venezuela. Yes. I said, now, if Tobago was independent, what would have happened is that 11 would have been us, 11 miles of water, and 11 miles of Trinidad. Yes. But when you strike oil and gas, before you used to hear the government of Trinidad and Tobago used to say in relation to Trinidad where the gas is. 45 miles on the northeast coast of Trinidad. But remember, Tobago is on the northeast coast. But if we were independent, it was 11 miles to you. So you're actually in Tobago space drilling all your oil and your gas. So that's what Williams was saying, that the resources. But Tobago brings the exclusive economic zone to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago because we are one administratively. So we have 200 miles between Tobago going up to Grenada. So the EEZ, the rich area, the exclusive economic zone is in the EEZ. It's Tobago that bring it to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. If Tobago was independent, Trinidad was going to be locked in 3.5 miles of water. You have no place to even bathe. 3.5 miles of water to Venezuela and 11 miles to Tobago. Tobago is the rich island. And we're not breaking up that. But you're not treating us with respect. Till people in Trinidad, because of the fact that the government have kept them ignorant, they start to say, why you not let them go? They're always coming here to beg for money. We mining them in Tobago, not recognizing that the government know better, but not telling them the truth, that it is Tobago's wealth that we enjoy right now. And I'm sure people are asking the question all over. The port that they are building in Toko, I want to repeat that again. The port that they are building in Toko, people saying and quarreling and saying, but nobody ain't going to leave Tobago and go down to Toko because Port of Spain we want to go. We're going there we going Port of Spain to the business, we don't go in Toko. Let me see. The port that they're building in Toko is not for the Tobagonian to travel to Trinidad. It's untruth. The port that they're building in Togo is
transport
for
gas.
the oil tankers to leave a point in Trinidad to go 45 miles Charlottesville out there where they're now drilling and extracting the gas.
Yes.
10 trillion cubic feet of gas is in Tobago space.
Well, look.
So they're going to do all the butchering there. If they put the thing in Tobago, people's eyes going to be open. They don't want to do that. So you leave, Tobago would not know what's happening. So you leave into Togo and you go out there and you come to Tobago and you collect your oil and your gas and you sell it.
Yes.
And you go down and you think you ship some there, and so that is what the port is being built for. Nothing to do with your travel. And listen to me. And we're not breaking up anything.
No.
All we're saying is that when Tobago is a government, we will sit down and discuss, because we are together for so long. We want to discuss how we utilize those resources.
Yes.
You are a large island. You have so many things to do. We have things to do too. How are we going to share that resources that is in our space? Self-government will give us that authority to sit with you to say, okay, fine. We only want this. Take the rest. We want this. Only this we want to fix up our roads, fix up our performing arts center, fix up our industries in Tobago, fix up our whatever it is that we need to do, our performing arts center, fix up everything in Tobago. Develop the road, develop this, develop the airport, develop that, get a dedicated air services running between Tobago and Trinidad, because we still remain a nation of two islands.
Yes.
All of those things will be do. Build a hospital, build a prison in Tobago so that our prisoners that are going to be in Trinidad, build the rehabilitation center in Tobago, build all these things in Tobago. We'd have the resources to do it, because we now would have a say in that. Right now, you vote for the people who are in government in Trinidad. They have no conversation with you because you have given them the power to extract these resources and see about themselves in Trinidad. Tobago changed hands 32 times. And it is not people from the Caribbean. There were people from Europe. The Spanish, the British, the French, the Dutch, all of them were coming here and fighting and killing the soldiers here. The sailors and soldiers here for the place they call Tobago, because they know of the wealth of this place.
So we are saying as well, Mr. Charles, that by doing such, we need to have some factories also put in place as well.
When your government of Tobago, when you get your self-government, the government of Tobago will do that.
Yes.
Will make sure that those things are done. Encourage the private sector in Tobago and help them to get these things done. Just like how it is done in every other country in the world. But we don't have no power to do that yet.
Yes.
Because your power is still in Trinidad. So they build everything in Trinidad. Even while they were focusing on gas on the island of Trinidad. The gas and oil economy in Trinidad. Those are our own.
Yeah.
Follow me well. They still, when they recognize that nothing that Trinidad does could have changed the price of oil, it's international demand outside. OPEC countries, they make the decision, and then oil price will go up or go down. When they recognize that that is happening outside, and that was being affected, they wanted to diversify, and they started to go into tourism. But they said Tobago is what? The tourism island. While Trinidad was what? Oil and gas. But this is what they were doing. The cruise ship complex is put in Port of Spain. I want to repeat what I just said. You don't understand me yet. You are focusing tourism on Tobago, but the cruise ship terminal is built in Port of Spain. The Hyatt was built down there.
Yes.
With the cruise ship complex in Port of Spain. If Tobago had the power, we are going to make sure that the cruise ship capital for the tourism island they call Tobago would have been here in Tobago.
As you mentioned that, I remember one time we were having a discussion on the air, and you had mentioned that in Studley Park would have been the basic crew, where the cruise ships would have been coming in.
Wasn't the cruise ship? Studley Park would have been the port.
The port, yes.
For international trade.
Okay.
You remember, the breakthrough factory was going to be put in Studley Park. In fact, them for that allowed to be destroyed down in Cove. They carried down there, deposit and drop it there. We are going to be supplying Tobago, sending out of Tobago every week. That was done already, and the factory was there. P&M government allowed that to mash up here. 40 containers of brake shoe every single week were going to be leaving Tobago to go to the United States of America. When the ship coming back, the containers that are empty were going to be loaded with goods from out there in Miami, because that's the gateway to the Caribbean.
Yes,
so goods from England, Canada, America would have been coming to Miami. We are going to bring it into Studley Park, not only for Tobago but for Trinidad and Latin America. So Studley Park was going to be that area where you're doing the break bulking. So people from Brazil were going to be coming here for their goods, Listen to me. It's stockbrokers, it's warehousing, it's transportation. I mean, there would have been no unemployed person on this island. So that was the port for international to commence international trade with the outside world, including what is going on there now. Because you notice we put the breasting dolphin there, shipping out aggregate there.
Yes.
But even that, when we get research government, will be changed. Will be changed because I understand now the local people, when we open up Studley Park, we open Studley Park to provide aggregate for our industry and for sale abroad. That's why every major project we were doing, we had another quarry, which was Green Hill. We would have leased Green Hill quarry to whoever contractor would have had that major infrastructure. See, Ram had it first when he was doing the airport. When he moved on, Warner become construction, what you call it, sanitation and construction company. He now had, so he was leased. I don't know what's happening because I understand he's still there. I don't know. So if there's another contractor that had a contract from the assembly, that person would have going to be given Green Hill, so that we did not have to, as Department of Works or the assembly, providing the aggregate for them. Because if you give them a contract and you have to provide and you didn't provide, you still have to pay them for loss of X, Y, Z. You should know contract work. Yes. So we allow them, you go there, pay your royalty, pay your this, pay your that, because you have to pay them the VAT on it and everything like that. And then we went and opened Studley Park. So that Studley Park would have been providing the aggregate to sell to the outside world. And also for the local business industry. A man want to build a house. The kind of prices I hear men saying you can't even get a load while you are stockpiled up in Studley Park, that will be reversed with your government, This is why nothing happening here. Everything is being determined from Trinidad. Our quarry,
Yes, our quarry.
The truckers can't get a load and the price so high, completely out of context.
We must ask ourselves too. We know definitely, as I mentioned about that. Good afternoon to Samantha.
Yeah.
Join us. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Basically, I'm hearing that basically our quarry, for the amount of money that has been made in Tobago, what that revenue has gone to?
I don't know. I'm not in the assembly.
Well, that's the next thing.
I'm just saying that we know why we set it up. Yeah. Because when we started to set up that, we didn't even finish the port here. But the barge used to come from Trinidad.
Right.
And bring up, because, we were talking about a barge, it had to be a payload. So you never travel empty. So in coming from Trinidad up to Tobago to collect the aggregate, we sent aggregate to Suriname to build the airport, from up there. Even while we were developing Suriname airport.
Right.
And the industry in Trinidad, the aggregate user industry in Trinidad, were coming here to get stuff too. So what is happening in Studley Park there is that the barge when it's coming up will bring up sand. The same sand that you're going to buy the store.
Yes.
And we unload that in Studley Park. And they load with the aggregate and go down. So it means then that as it coming up, it bringing stuff to for resale.
Yeah.
And you're going down, you're carrying down a load of stuff, so you have stuff on it. But if you travel one way empty, you have to pay for the empty loading. You have to pay for the badge.
For the badge, yes.
So it must always load coming and going. That's what we were doing in Studley Park. I don't know what's happening there. But we know we're shipping out aggregate and we're making a lot of money. So government will allow the people of Tobago, through the institution, the representative institution, to really examine what is happening there and to put it back back to its original intent. One, to provide stuff for resale, sell it to contractors whether in Trinidad, wherever. But at the same time, the local people in Tobago, the industry, a man want to build a hotel, he want to build a house, he must be able to go to Studley Park and get it without the nonsense that's going on there at a reasonable price. Or if it shut down the place. That's nonsense that's going on there, you know. Cell government will deal with that, you know.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on there, you know. But the men that complain, men still going up in the quarry and load up. I am traveling on the road and I seen a heap of stuff and I asked them, well, how you all can't get any stuff from the quarry? And I'm seeing piles aggregate up there. They say, it's for export. I said, what happened to the people? Oh, a man getting your house built in Tobago. And they tell me the price going up so high. I mean, terribly. Terrible, out of whack.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Oh, God, man, you want people with a heart to run the place. Not selfish people. Not people who understand why these things were put in place. Man want to build a house, he can't get a load of stuff from there. And if he has to access a load of stuff, the price is way high. Maybe more than 10 times the price we were selling for. It's crazy. So as a result, Trinidad, of Studley Park, what you were doing in Breakthrough, international trade, it means that Trinidad merchants, I don't even like to say it there, but the truth is that Trinidad merchants who are going to also come to Studley Park in order to buy goods to go down back rather than the Tobagonian going down and lining up in Trinidad. Because remember, every single vessel that come from north, whether it's England, Canada, United States of America, it passed right outside of Scarborough and go down to Trinidad.
Yes, it does.
With our goods, you know.
Yes, it does.
Our goods. And then somebody take it in the warehouse in Trinidad because they order it. They put a price on it, then they put it on the ferry, you have to pay for it. This is why the price in Tobago is so high.
Yes.
It would have been the other way around, that the goods were going to come to Tobago, download our stuff here, and we were going to have it at a cheaper price than we are now paying for it. That was self-government. We'll also reverse and do.
Yes, so true. A next thing that I look at now, I don't know if it's because of the corona that we are facing right now.
Well,
but I have noticed that the airport and with the houses them that I was talking about in the Compoint, Bonaccord, Canaan area to be removed. And I'm now seeing presently right now work is going on that airport at this present time.
Remember when the Chinese, they signed the agreement?
The agreement with the Chinese.
Couple a month ago or so, Minister of Finance and everybody was up here, that they said renovation is to be done on the existing airport. Apart from building the new terminal building, renovation. And this is why we keep saying, apart from the fact that they ought not to remove the people, the terminal building, if you're building a new one, should have been going elsewhere. We discussed that already. We don't want to go back to it.
Yeah.
That thing should be stopped. I believe Corona would have done something to it.
Yes.
Because there's no trouble in the world. You're building a new airport terminal building. There's no trouble. And there's no end to this.
None.
There's no end to this. Let me come back on that. So the existing terminal building, all it required for the time being was the renovation. Where the aircraft can come right up to the terminal building as you do in Trinidad, and you can walk straight from the building onto the plane without having to go outside in the sun or the rain or something. That's the renovation I believe that they're doing there now. The area outside the parking area can accommodate the same number of aircraft that they say they're going to be putting up there. When they raised it at the meeting when NIDCO came up, I remember the engineer Henry Feller, who used to work on the airport, he's the airport engineer, raised the question. He said, but your plan says that you want to have 3 wide-bodied and area for either 2 or 3 other small aircraft or 5 or whatever. And he says, what you have just said, the present building and the area can accommodate that. You know, nobody respond? Why are you removing the people to do that again?
Okay.
So the renovation should have taken care of that. And I believe God speaks.
Yes, I believe so.
You are building an airport now when there is no movement taking place. Where you're saying that we should plan for tomorrow. Remember I said to you, the most fragile industry in the world is tourism.
It's tourism, yes.
So in case you have a little war in a country outside and the people who come from there, you think shut down because no travel could take place. And so on. Now we have corona in the whole world. Every border shut down. No movement, no aircraft even know where to go any place.
No,
why are you spending this money at this time? And God must say, use that money to fix corona.
Corona, yes. yes.
Leave the people.
Yes, I think so, in truth. I think
There's
so.
no need to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And even though we did not,
up,
even though we did not have the corona, as I pointed out to you, what the original intent and plan was. Runway, international standard, we build it.
Yes.
And then 2 other activities were to be done, which is the road leading to the terminal building and the terminal building.
Yes.
And with those plans, it's the same plans they have, except that they are shifting one of the activities. The only activity, the road going the same place from Sherban down, but you're shifting where the terminal building will be. And the shifting requires that you relocate a whole community of people at this time.
Yes, which makes sense.
But God said, social distancing, you can't move, nobody could move. And listen to me, God is doing a thing.
Yes.
And I mean that.
Yes.
Don't interfere with the people.
Don't interfere with God's people. That's all we should say. Yes, Roger, thanks for all them thumbs up, and as you all can see, is the facts. We are educating. This is what Mr. Charles is here to do, educate, because a lot of people don't know about their self-right. That's where Tobago really need their own self-government, and you are actually hearing it and seeing it here now.
True. You don't wait, as I said, you don't wait until the rain comes before you build your ark.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think that is what we are seeing today.
Suppose now Noah to wait
until God come before he build that ark.
Everybody dead. There would have been no life continuing because he and his family that continue life in the world, you know.
Yes.
And that's what we were saying all the time. You plan these things, and we were saying that from Tobago, say, hey, you do not, that was the address in 1999 about the deepening crisis in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And we are saying, you observe this thing happen to you twice. That oil prices went down, and as a result, the country almost crashed.
Yes.
Let us not allow it to happen to us again. Let's look at the unused potential. That's why we're talking about diversification. The unused potential of the country, and look at Tobago. Look at Tobago. We can provide you with what you will lose when oil prices go down. Tobago economy will produce that for the nation. We gave all the details, you know. Now we sit down and we say, oh God, oh. Now Corona. Lockdown.
It is for good.
Oil prices gone down. Your budget gone through the roof. And you have to now find the money. Your whole budget may be going to attend to what? The coronavirus. Because just remember, the banks will go through. Even the radio stations.
Yes.
Because remember, it's advertisement it's everything that collapses. If I spend my time to examine with you, it's everything that goes on. Somebody said the radio, Mr. Radio and television. Because the advertisement from the business people, you're used to pay.
Your bills,
You pay your bills, not so?
Of course.
So when all the businesses are closed down, there's no ad.
There's no ad.
So they may be retrenching people in the media. No ad. All the airlines that are operating in the world collapsing because they can't fly.
Exactly.
It's plenty billions of money to deal with COVID.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, even our own Caribbean Airlines, they calculate that yet. They can't fly where they used to fly. They're not making any money. Where you firing? All the pilots, all the airs, all of them stuff there. Everything going through, though.
I'd like to say good afternoon goes out to Nicola Sweet Lips out there in New York. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sweet Lips. Yeah. It's everything that goes through, though. Listen to me. It's everything that goes through.
Yes.
When the hotel industry in Tobago go through, and you know everything going through,
Yes.
you know supplier goods, they know number, and just remember, all these bars are closed, all them, we call them in Tobago, where there's casino, all them closed up.
Even some of the beaches too.
Well, everything closed.
Good afternoon to
It's shut down.
Arlene.
And I'm not saying it is wrong, because in order to prevent the spread, those are actions that will be taken. But we were not hearing before. God said when hard years, in fact, we say it this way, when hard years do not hear, soft bottom will feel. Yeah? You remember that?
Yes.
When that is Tobagonian business. When hard years do not hear, soft bottom will feel. The country feeling.
Yes.
Because we didn't hear.
We did not hear.
These are things that we were supposed to put in place. The government was told, the country was told, we need to do these things because these things are coming. We didn't know about coronavirus. We were thinking in terms of the oil going through because, you know, shale oil was being produced by America, dumping on the market. We were looking at that direction. We didn't know this was coming.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Faster than we think. And we have not diversified. Because I was hearing government was responding to this saying, but we can't. But you're not going to stop oil and gas. That is what providing the revenue for now. You will continue to deal with it and to allow yourself to get revenue from it. But pay attention to the other areas that in case something go wrong with it, it happened to you before. We're not learning.
Arlene Collins, good afternoon to you.
You have better eyes than I do. Oh yes.
Yes, Nicola, that is so true. All right, and that's Nicola out there in New York.
Oh yes, good
So that's
afternoon.
so true.
Yeah, we can't put all our eggs in one basket.
And this is what I'm seeing are taking place.
Yeah, well, that is what is happening here in this country. I don't know how we're going to make it. You see, listen to this. This situation is bad. Now the schools are all shut down. And they had to be shut down.
Yeah.
That's a good decision. But what are the consequences of that? I have known of cases right here in Tobago, and all over the world is happening. But we talk about Tobago.
Yes, yeah.
To the parents, both parents, husband and wife, mother and father, they are actually employed because of the low wages in order to pay the bills in the home.
Yes, yes.
Both of them had to work.
Afterwards.
There are three, and I'm talking about cases now.
Yes.
3 and 4 children that are going to school.
To school.
They are so happy when the day meet, so that they go off to school, and when they finish work in the evening, they'll pick them up.
Yes.
No, the school they shut down. Both parents' wages must come together to pay the mortgage, pay the bills, to buy the food. If one stay home, the wages of one or salary of one can't pay the bills.
Cuts, yes.
But who's staying home with the children?
Well, that is it.
Listen to me. This cost, we have started to calculate the cost of it. What happened to them children?
What exactly?
If you examine around, you might be surprised to know that some children might be home alone during the course of the day, which is very dangerous.
Yes, yes, yes.
Somebody has to make sure. I don't think they calculate, they finish the calculation, you know. You can never done the calculation. And you're not faulting government or anybody. All we're saying is, this thing is greater than we think. We have not looked at everything. And Tobago being a tourism industry, where nothing moves, where everything is based upon that, the whole industry shut down. The whole island of Tobago shut down. And when I hear the government talk about they put a plan in place about 50 million to deal with the tourism in Tobago, I wonder what they used to calculate that. That's a joking.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a complete joke to bring up the plan of the deal. But what happened to the staff in these places? They must see all them people working in the bars and them that shut down. There are some people who are working, who now were working, let me see, a whole fortnight, or working in a place a whole week. Now it's 2 days, some is a couple hours that they're working, and they are being paid just for the time they're working.
Yes, yes.
And some of these people have bills to meet.
Yeah, because when you
It's a
look at
whole
people,
serious situation, you know. You're not faulting anybody because nobody we didn't call COVID. But the government of the country should have been, God was giving us a warning before we said that to people. We need to look at these things. but we were looking at it coming from another angle. We
yeah.
see what God did? Same consequence,
Open everybody
same
up,
effect,
you know. Yes,
same consequence.
Yeah.
We have not paid attention to those
Yes.
things.
So true.
One,
So true.
suddenly, everything come on us.
Yes.
You're not putting things in place.
I even say I had to reach with you and shake your hand because I said Mr. Charles actually had this topic and he had discussed this, and to
Yes.
see after you discuss it, we actually see it come into effect.
Yeah.
It actually come into effect.
God speaking, you know, he just used somebody to speak to. And I told you that when I come here, but remember, I don't want to even say this. 2017, the last Tobago House of Assembly election, you remember, we did not participate in it. The platform are true. We went out there, I went out there and say to the country what I hear from my daddy upstairs.
Yes.
Do not participate in this Tobago House of Assembly. It's illegal and it's a mockery. They need to put it off. If they don't put it off, anything they attempt to do, they will be creating a blunder upon a blunder upon a blunder. And nothing will change. And if they don't at that time listen and change, God will create a crisis to allow Tobago to exit. So this is why I said to you, in every crisis situation there is what? Opportunity and danger. The opportunity for Tobago now, because they were not seeing it while we were talking, but now they're seeing it, oh God, oh. If there is something going on in Trinidad, the lockdown Trinidad, you know, we're dead in Tobago, ain't you?
Yeah.
We need to really have our power in Tobago to fix our business. That is it. So Tobago going to exit. This is the crisis that is created for Tobago to exit from this kind of bondage arrangement with Trinidad. We still remain a nation.
We still remain a nation.
But Tobago must have its authority and its power to see about its people. Right now, nobody's seen about us. Listen to the Minister of Health. Some time ago, we said, you know, only essential travel, not even to go to Tobago. And I said, but my God, he said so, you know.
Yes.
And I said, but my
It has to
God,
be essential,
they do
something.
not recognize that Trinidad and Tobago is operated with a capital in Port of Spain. Everything is down there. Is he going to make the same statement with regards to go to San Fernando? Because everything comes from Trinidad.
Yes.
To come to Tobago.
To come to Tobago, yeah.
The air bridge and the sea bridge is life and death travel, you know, is essential travel to the Tobagonian. While the same air bridge and sea bridge is holiday travel to the Trinidadian.
Yes.
The same service, you know,
The same,
is holiday travel. You're coming up to relax and so on, fine, and be glad to have you ecotourism. But at the same time, it is life and death to the Tobagonian. All our food stuff come up from down there. Listen to me. The cooking gas that you cook, the LPG come from down there.
Everything.
If you shut down that, you shut down Tobago and kill the people. Is everything that comes up, you know.
So true, Dan. So true.
So it's an essential service. Self-government would have solved that because we have our own storage facility here. Our importation would have come into Tobago. Not discriminate against anybody. So that when anything go down there, we have our own business here. So we can take care of our people here. And if you need help in Trinidad, we're going to send some. Just like if we need help in Tobago, you can send to us because we are brothers and sisters. If you need help, we can send some help for you. But right now, if you damage, we dead. We are damaged with you. Although the physical thing didn't hit us.
Yes, but you are seeing it.
That is what self-government will remove and release
Yes.
to us.
Of course.
And One Tobago Voice is the only institution and organization in this country to deliver that. All the rest is bondage.
But can you tell me, Mr. Charles, how long Tobago has been seeking for their own self-government? How many years now?
Well, let me say this to you. From 1940 something, APT James and Bigat and they were saying things like that. But then the formal thing began with A.N.R. Robinson in 1976. Call it 1977 that the law was passed to grant us our self-government. Do you know the country made the decision already? But the legislation that was passed originally, which was Act Number 37 of 1980, did not provide the self-government. It fell short. In 1996, which is the legislation we are operating in Tobago right now, Act Number 40, you're hearing about that. The one that we're operating on now, in 1996, they went back to the parliament in order to provide. They increased the power, but the final thing has not been done. So the self-government we're now looking for is for the final thing to be done. Because we get no form of government, you know. They decided we should have our self-government in 1977. Yes. But we don't have no form of government because, you know, government has the powers of government of three kinds. Legislative, executive, and judicial.
Right.
The legislature is where pass the laws like the parliament. We don't have that in Tobago, we can pass to a lawyer. The executive is the cabinet that implement the laws that are passed. And then the judiciary is the judiciary in Trinidad and Tobago that will interpret those laws. That is what is left to be done now, and that's what the self-government thing is all about now. Like the final stage, and then Tobago going forward. So we'll pass our laws here for the good governance of Tobago, just like everybody else, and so on. And then we will have, now we have an executive council, but the Trinidad cabinet can override it because the legislation was not passed with the required number of votes. Because the people who carried it in the parliament did not have the power to do it. And you know what's who? UNC and AR, 1717-2. The PNM didn't support it.
Oh, okay.
They now carry the same legislation in the parliament now. And let me see what's going to happen.
Yes.
It has to be done now. Because if Tobago was not changed and people did not, if people here understood, the voters understood what was involved, they would have never vote for PNM. Or vote for any party to come out from Trinidad. None. Because what you're doing, you're going to the parliament for your power. They say, yes, we give you. But you went and vote for their candidates, what you're doing? Give them back the power you just asked them for. That is stupidity we did, you know.
Yes.
And that is why when you vote for PNM, that you do. They are only agent of the government in Trinidad. If you vote for anybody of the UNC, you're doing the same thing too. You're setting up agents so that they continue to run Tobago rather than the people in Tobago. That's why self-government simply means government without outside interference. And outside interference would mean Trinidad interference too. Just like no, Britain didn't interfere with Trinidad business when they get a self-government. The people decide to put the PNM involved. The DLP at that time become the opposition. In Tobago will be the same thing too. The people in Tobago will decide which one will give the government to run and which one will become opposition. So no, it can't be PNM. It can't be the UNC because they are the people from Trinidad. These are the parties from Trinidad. If you vote for them, you're putting back our business in their hands again. Just like when nothing happened in the last 20 years. Because Tobago has been run from Trinidad.
Yes.
Contrary to self-government. Wow.
Because we had noticed that basically, as you stated, that Tobago, no matter how you look at it, because even so just to see about, let's say, is only now I think that your ID card, you could go right in Tobago and get your ID card, but there are a lot of things that if anything happen, you have to actually, it have to be taken to Trinidad before come back to Tobago.
Yes, sir. When that motion was moved, we need to go back there and explain to you what the condition of Tobago was. It is the Tobago House of Assembly, which was the beginning of the granting of the self-government, the first tranche, that bring those things to Tobago. You had to go to Trinidad for your board people before that.
Yes.
An interview for a job in Tobago, you had to go down to the Service Commission in Trinidad before you.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? Everything was down there, you know. I mean, everything. You couldn't go and register a deed in Tobago and carry it down in Trinidad. You landed them. Imagine the land now move from Tobago. The land is a Tobago land. A man from Tobago sell me a piece of land in Tobago, but I go in Trinidad. In the Red House in Trinidad to register a deed. So there have been a lot of little changes that came when the Tobago House Assembly came. Yeah. But at the same time, we really want the full powers in order to develop the place, including fix the land titles.
Yes. Let's take this comments from Terence Anderson. Yes.
They like to judge Tobago too much. We need to seek our own affairs, not to be this hand-down thing from Trinidad. Like them bird picnic. Things we don't want know how of cake thing. Tobago has to get
Yes.
their own cake and Trinidad get theirs as well.
Yes.
That's the issue. And that's what you're discussing. And that is what self-government is, you know. In terms of government mean that. And it's not difficult. Is the once the people of Tobago speak with one voice, it is going to happen, you know. It is not for Trinidad to determine, you know. As I explained before how these things work. Because of ignorance out there, a lot of people here were thinking about you think them people go past that by you think Mr. Rowley and the PNM or Kamla and the DNC go past that. It is not for them. When Trinidad went for the self-government, just like every other country in the Caribbean, let me come to Trinidad. They went to England and said, hey, both parties went, government and opposition. Because the convention in the world is when the government and the opposition come, the country comes. So the country went to England and said, hey, we want to run our business here. Ian MacLeod was the Secretary of State for the colonies. Just like we call Minister of External Affairs. He listened to them, they had a conversation up there in 59. They came down here and I won in 1960. I have all the documents too. They came down here and I won in 1960 in Trinidad and Tobago. And they agreed that this is what Trinidad want in order to run the business moving out from England. Ian MacLeod, the place that the law had to be passed to give Trinidad the authority to do that is the British Parliament, because they were the government was. And they took this matter to the Parliament, and the Parliament asked one question, because they had to pass it. Is this what the country agreed? Yes. That's the end of the story. Because it's not their business. The country said this is where we want to manage your business. And all they do, pass the law. So when we say one Tobago voice, that is all we're saying, you know. That's a convention in the world, that is how it happens. But Trinidad will continue, I thought, but Trinidad parties will continue to keep you all in ignorance and backwardness to ask these questions, to delay yourself getting your power, so you could enjoy the riches of Tobago. All the parliament would have to do is to pass it. Once Tobago people and all the parties just speak with one voice, say, hey, this is what we want, they will pass it in the parliament, because if they don't, what is going to happen is they're going to go contrary to the United Nations Charter of which they are a signatory. This is why I'm teaching you. Don't be, this is not for Kamala to give or for Keep to give. They have to pass the law once the Tobago people unite with one voice and say yes. So stop the other conversation. The other conversation is obsolete. It's nonsensical.
Right, Trinidad, I just want you all to understand, is the Trinidad party the government?
Is the party we're talking about?
Not the people. So
people in Trinidad are kept in ignorance too.
Right? So is the party that we're dealing with here.
You don't have to be apologetic for that, you know.
No.
Or know you're explaining it and so on.
Yes.
But then no, we're talking about, when we say Trinidad, we're talking about the authorities, we're talking about the government, the parliament.
Yes.
The parties in Trinidad.
Yes.
Not the ordinary people, because we are all one.
Yes, so true. Yes, so true.
We're not talking about the ordinary man on the streets. He have the same kind of problem with the government in Trinidad. I have seen a World Bank report in 1993 that says that the local government bodies in Trinidad was set up and elected to manage the business in those regions. But every decision important is made by the cabinet. I will bring it here and read the language. Distorting everything. They said that in the report here. Make a joke. That is why the regional corporations in Trinidad are not able to do. And you know, the government the last time was saying that we want to reform local government and to give them power to do certain things. They were criticized by the World Bank, by everybody for doing that, you know. So this is why when cabinet makes a decision in Trinidad, it's to be implemented all over. Even in the regional corporations and so on. So if it's an error decision, the whole country suffers. Not like in America, every state, and not only the states, you know, within the states in America, they have city government.
Yes.
That the state government don't interfere with it.
Exactly.
That's why they're so powerful.
Yes. I agree.
But every decision in this country has to be made by the same cabinet.
It should not be.
So if they make a wrong decision, the whole country suffer. And that's why Tobago say, no, it needs to be so. It should not even be so with regards to there are certain decisions that come onto the island of Trinidad.
Yes.
Come onto Tobago too. That decisions have to be made with regards to do. But there are certain decisions that the local bodies have to be made by the local bodies in Trinidad. Fixing up the ground, fixing up the road, fixing up that. All them decisions have to be made by cabinet. I go bring that documentation and we go see what they say, what the World Bank say about that.
Yes.
That the Trinidad cabinet wastes a lot of time, doing foolishness, up to now. I'm telling you this. I sit in the cabinet and I'll tell you something will happen there. They say in that year, 1993, the cabinet in England make 400 and something decisions.
400.
I can't remember. Jamaica make 700 and something decision in their parliament. And they began it. Trinidad make 2,770. I'm bringing the document next week. I'm reading it from the World Bank report for you.
Just permit me, glad that you mentioned about next week. So it's a good thing that you had mentioned about next week. We have some renovation that we're taking place with, starting from tomorrow. So hopefully that we will be up and running by next week. If not,
okay,
you will catch us the following week.
All right, that's good. That will be good.
We're doing some improvements in the station.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, let me say this.
Yes.
They criticize the government for that. And it's true. I sit in the cabinet, and I say in that bold. When I went down there after the coup, I didn't go to national security right away. I went to act for Gloria Henry, the Minister of Social Development and Family Services. So I sat in the cabinet that month. I sat there in the cabinet, and I raised a matter. Imagine you want to buy a water tank that just come to cabinet. That's not how we are accustomed running Tobago. Because remember we run the THA before I got down there.
Yes.
And I think Mr. Robinson came out for that meeting because Dukaran was carrying on. And I asked, this is what I come here to do before the whole cabinet there? I said, these are the things you come to cabinet to make decisions. To buy a water tank? Look at what the cabinet did then. You check the record. The cabinet, as a result, took a decision that every minister must submit the things to the cabinet that the cabinet must devolve or delegate to the ministers to handle. Every minister submit and the cabinet make a decision. Plenty matters were delegated to the ministries and the ministers to handle them and not coming back to the cabinet. When the PNM take over from us, they carry back everything to it. The cabinet wastes a lot of time, Some little foolish decision that a little clerk could make had to go to cabinet. Wow. And let me tell you something about Trinidad. Public servants in Trinidad, all the permanent secretary, we want to change in this place. They don't understand that law is the tool for the implementation of public policy, although they also know they can't do nothing except a law there.
Yes.
But although the law is policy, policy is law, is law.
Yes.
A law is passed, do A, B, C, D, E, F, D, F. The law is there. No government, permanent secretary, and public servant will use that law to do what it says. The cabinet had to make a decision, and it's a cabinet decision had to be made, although the law there, before they can start to do anything. I said, God, this country is upside down. Every time you hear say, cabinet decision?
Yes, cabinet decision, yes.
Did you say that?
Yes, I
a law is there, The law was a cabinet decision that go to parliament in order for the policy to come in law before you can implement it. But the public servant will not act on that. They have to get a cabinet decision. That has to be changed in the country.
Look at that.
That's why we waste a lot of time, That's why it takes so much time to do things in Trinidad and Tobago. One backward system. You man, I tell you, I raised a matter in cabinet. Cabinet at that time would have asked every minister. I was sitting there, you know. I asked, I mean, this is where you come in the cabinet, you know. I must feel out of place in the place, you know, in the cabinet, you know. And as a result, we took a decision. Robinson came to that particular meeting there as Prime Minister because he came in a short pants because he all still shoot up. We come to that particular meeting there, and I don't know where's God. And I sat there and said, wait, just no. You mean this is where cabinet does no? But Robinson, no, we operate in Tobago too, right?
Yeah.
I said, I mean, this is where we come in the cabinet to sit down to decide for a buy water tank. That is not even for a permanent secretary to do. That does have to go to cabinet. You check and see the cabinet decisions that are made in this country. Some little foolish, nonsensical, little foolishness goes to the cabinet. Cabinet must be sitting down there to make major policy for the country.
Yes.
Not trippiness, little detail nonsense, you know. Cabinet decide. And cabinet decide.
Yeah.
Because the constitution says something. They don't understand how that works. That policy, law is policy.
Yes, that's true. Let's take this comment from
Man, oh God, man, this country
Mr.
really...
Anderson again.
The Caroni Sugar Factory. I find that should have been up. Funny questions.
Yes, yeah. And running.
When I have seen somebody talk about whether we own the pitch day, that is something that we'll have to research.
Yeah.
Because I understand that the government is saying, I don't want to say things that I don't know. Somebody was saying that they would have either given the pitch day or leased the pitch day to somebody Chinese or something.
Yeah.
We need to research that because I'm not so sure it is so.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it is so or not. I don't think so. But we will get that information, check it out, and next time we come here, we'll be able to give you the correct information where that is concerned.
Of course, of course.
Because a lot of ignorance is out there, you know. A lot of untrue stories outside. Some truth, some untrue. But we want to verify that. I don't know whether they would have...
This is why we came here to speak the truth and nothing more than the truth.
Yeah.
All right, and that is something very good. It's now 7:15 in the capital nation. We go
God
to
is
our
good.
class.
God is good. God is good. Yes, I was telling you, I am sure that I say something this evening that a lot of people who are online from Trinidad did not know this that I see. That when a law is passed, remember I tell you when government make a policy,
Yes.
they cannot implement that policy except there is a law. This is why the government will go to Parliament and seek to have legislation passed so that it could be able to do things. If there is no law and they make this decision, they can't carry it out. So law is the tool for the implementation of public policy or government policy. So now, the policy is there. You pass the law to do it, but nobody in the public service will act on it until the cabinet go back and make a decision on the same thing they again and say, oh, the cabinet made it. This country is so backward.
Wow. Tell me.
That is why everything is delayed in the country.
By far.
That must not happen.
We have a lot to talk
If you
about.
know the little nonsense that goes to cabinet, you remember, I will bring the World Bank report.
Yes, we will. Need
You
to-
will read it and hear what the World Bank said. Some of the language, I can't quote it verbatim, and I don't want to say what it is.
Yeah.
I don't even want to paraphrase. I want to bring it and read it. And you will hear what the World Bank says. Since 1993.
Wow.
It's still going on. You're changing. We're backward.
Yes,
They had to change that and say, hey, this is the, for example, what cabinet decision that we use to implement the Tobago Assembly Act? We don't have to go to executive council. I set up the executive council in Tobago. I'm the first chief secretary. I put that in place. We don't have to go and make these decisions. Within this, their operational policy, we go and make. The law says that you are responsible for agriculture, but in this, you don't have how we should carry it out. So we have to go to the executive council in Tobago and make those kind of decisions. This is where we want to do. We want to give out this land, blah, 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 blah. So we have to pass a decision. But when in Trinidad, the legislation is passed and say how this should be done, If you want regulations, we need to prepare the regulation, go to Parliament and pass it, and the public servants will implement.
Yes.
But no, they're waiting for a cabinet decision again. Or else nobody will act.
Well.
Cabinet minute they want. That is a tool.
Yes.
Sometimes I used to sit down and say, wow, what is this? So this is why when I went down there, I moved. I better don't give the location again. I moved the special branch from where they were.
Yes.
On Long Soquel Road to where they are now.
Okay.
And no cabinet decision. So that they could function. I remember I told them they were walking and walking on each other.
Yes.
We were telling them we have about 1 million coups in this country. And lots of this. When I come to Tobago, we make decisions to the scholarship program. You know, I am talking to a lady on Sunday, and I come out in the States and I didn't even recognize. He said, and I can't reveal that. Said, that is my son. Well, I could say.
Yes.
The vice president of the Senate is the Freitas. You know that one I sent him in school?
Okay.
The PNM vice president of the Senate today was one of my scholarship man who was sent to university. I am surprised to know the width of the people that will benefit. When we started to train doctors in Tobago, and they're now looking for doctors abroad,
Yes.
I heard the government say they're going to have IADB giving them a loan to bring on how many house officers? Hundreds to deal with the coronavirus. Read what I said since 1998 when I started to train, send people in St. George's University. So we need to have our doctors trained to attend to our people here when they are sick and to sell to the world. You're training so much of them. I say you don't understand. What happened today? We're not going to look for doctors outside.
Yeah.
Some of them will come with a different culture barrier and language barrier. I have experienced that. You know. Where we had some African doctors, I'm not criticizing them, come to the hospital. A fella sick. I'm talking about actual case, eh?
Yes.
And he gone to tell the doctor the next month, doctor, oh God, me operation all night. I have operation all night. The African doctor, who could be so cruel? The fella sit down there and he underpaid and he can't tell the doctor, say, but who could be so cruel to do operation on a man all night?
All night, tell me.
You don't know what happened to the fella? It's a diarrhea he get. Go down to Tobago talk, you know what we call operation, that you have a loose bowel, diarrhea.
Yeah.
Doctor didn't understand him.
Oh, yeah.
But if it was a Tobago doctor he was talking to, man come from the country, he would have known that it is diarrhea the man getting with that. The doctor tried to figure out what happened, which way they cut him where you. It's serious, you know? This is not joking.
Oh Lord, yes.
This is why you have to have some of your own people with other foreign people, that sometimes when somebody here come, they can't talk the English language and so on, they'll be able to say, no, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Or if you could end up in serious problem, you know, as has happened. We were training our people for that. Some of our doctors are also abroad, and as you know, in a lot of institutions abroad, running these institutions. Now we sending to get how many 100 doctors to know, and the Minister of Health announced that yesterday, that we're going to get how many doctors the IADB give them a loan or providing the funds for them to hire the house officers to deal with this corona thing in this country.
Yeah.
Tobago would have been selling doctors to the rest of the world. Like Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba have done so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we were doing in Tobago. They didn't understand nothing we're doing. Oh yes, even courthouse matters. They have put out a thing, you know, that between now and I think it's the 20th or something like that, or the 16th of April, they put out it out yesterday.
For courthouse.
Yeah,
So
only
all
certain
inside
matters.
out,
Yeah, they are put off until then. Only certain matters, and they specify them. That will be done. I have it there, but I didn't walk in here with it, and so on. So all these matters are done. You understand what is involved there?
Yes.
That with the riot that happened in the prison there, that people was saying that this corona thing going to nobody telling them. Like, this is what I heard they're saying, that nobody is saying what going to happen to them. The judiciary not sitting and this not happening. Nobody telling them when the case coming up, some of them matters, what matters to be tried now and come up. They don't know, they're not hearing anything. Sometimes, sometimes you have to be sympathetic,
Yes.
I mean, you don't expect that people are going to be rioting, but understand people under pressure, they're locked down, they're under strain, and you can't give them the information they require because they have matters in the court. Now is the time, and you say, well, the court not fix it, and you not tell them, well, when? It's a serious matter,
Hey,
you got to treat people better than that.
To Mr. Curtis Leacock. This guy was on last week with some interested questions.
Yes, I am so happy.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have about 10, 15 more minutes.
Yes. All right.
We come on this program not to talk bacchanal,
No.
not to talk
To educate.
partisan politics, but to give you information, authentic information that you yourself can research and check so that you'll be empowered. And when you are empowered, you'll be liberated.
Yes.
Top of the night to Mr. Charles and Mr. Murray.
Good
Top
night.
of the night to you, Mr. Leacock.
Yes.
Glad to have you.
Yes.
And you can keep your questions like last week flowing. We are ready, willing, and we are prepared to respond to them in the most humble, forthright way,
Of course.
giving you accurate information.
Yes.
What we don't know, we check and surely will give you feedback on them.
Yes. So true.
Well, there's hardly any matter that people raise that we don't know, like you asked me about something in Trinidad. Sometimes we don't have that information.
Yes.
So we normally check it for you. But anything about here, we could be able to help you. We're just humble.
Yes.
You know the number of people, Mr. Murray, that look at your program,
Yes.
look at this program,
Of course.
from Trinidad too,
Yeah.
that tell me we hear something on this program that we never knew.
Yeah. See. Exactly.
But we are keeping Trinidad in ignorance.
Yes, Mr. Leacock, the government.
Yeah, the government has to listen to this.
Yes.
And it is the people of Tobago, one Tobago voice is the voice that they will listen to because that's an international arrangement. The whole United Nations says so.
Yes.
And once we speak with one Tobago voice, that is why the name of the group is One Tobago Voice.
Yes.
You are...
I think.
Oh, he said you are. You are ready, but is the government prepared?
Oh.
It is not for the government, it's for Tobago. Once Tobago is ready and speak with one voice, the convention in the world, or I call it international law or convention, is that the government have to give to Tobago what they require. It is not for them to decide. They only have the power to pass it. Just like how Trinidad, when it went to Britain, they just have the power to pass the law because the only place that you pass law in Trinidad and Tobago is the parliament in Trinidad. But it requires us in Tobago to do something, to speak with one voice. Once that one voice is spoken of, and we speak with that one voice, Trinidad has no choice but to pass it. What about the cocoa estate of Tobago?
Yes, I see that from Mr. Anderson. What about the cocoa estate here?
I'm not so sure that the cocoa... Well, we know we have a blend of cocoa here that is one of the best that they use to blend with the cocoa all over the world because of its richness. But I'm not so sure that we still have another cocoa estate in Tobago. That's something we have to research, Whatever we have, them fellas cut down in Roxborough and build houses on that. When we bought that estate,
Okay.
not acquired.
Okay.
We were able to buy Roxborough estate, not with money from Trinidad. I had to explain that to you all. What we call the maximization of the financial resources that we have. Because our money come to us quarterly in advance in block. Quarterly means every 3 months our money will come up front. But you don't need the 3 months money in month number 1 and month number 2.
Yeah.
What we were doing was to invest month number 2 and 3 money. while we use month number 1 because we month number 1.
Right.
Follow me well?
Yeah.
Because 3 months that come
3
in
months,
advance.
Yeah, correct.
We make interest on that. Those interests we were able to make to buy Roxborough. People didn't know, you know.
No.
Because all the people in Roxborough, the young people, they had no lands to expand their home. And most of the people who are of secondary and tertiary education and so on, the leaders in the society, were leaving and coming down in Susuland, coming down in Mount Pleasant, coming down here, and leave the society devoid of leadership, not even culture, sports and those. And we recognize the danger. And we bought that from non-parallel estate.
Yes.
And we were going to be building the houses on the slope and leave the cocoa on the flat. The P&M go and take it off and build Renaissance, whatever they call it now. Chop down all the cocoa field. So, Mr. Mac, we'd have to check to find out what is there now with the cocoa estate in Tobago. Look at what happened down here in Tobago West. Tobago West used to produce a lot of the potatoes.
Yes,
A lot of things because of the soil down here. A lot of the bene that people used to make the bene ball with, that would have been an export market, was down in Canaan, but they used to produce because of the soil.
Yes.
But now most of those lands now are taken up with buildings, hotels and guest houses. So with self-government in Tobago, we'll be able to manage and to what we call zone these land. This going to be for agriculture and may mean agricultural land, not what they have now. Because they have some land in Tobago earmarked from government of Trinidad as agricultural land that are pure quarry. It's true. I mean, Tobago not in charge.
Yes.
And that was self-government will correct all of those things and so on. And we a lot of the flatland that you can do, large-scale farming and mechanical. This is why we say, leave Goldsboro, Studley Park and Leo. We could be able to produce the food. And COVID-19, no, we're going to be run out of food yet. And I'm saying we should go into agriculture in those areas short term.
Yes.
Because this going to be a long term thing.
Yes, it will.
Produce the food that we require right now for the self-sufficiency. But we talked about it last meeting we were here, about the self-sufficiency of Tobago, even before COVID, because what it becomes.
Let's take a comment from Curtis.
Even guava, one of the best. But it's true. As you know, we were doing something with the taste of Tobago, the jams and the jellies.
Yes.
We started to grow guava, you know. And somebody feel like in Annesville and all of that, we started to rehab those fields with the guava, you know.
Okay.
Of course, we had things set up in Louisville, and Goldsboro. And then we have one set up in I think, Goldsboro and somewhere else. And the taste of we used to export it. You know what I mean? Exporting the taste of Tobago was the brand.
Look at that.
The fella know.
I remember that.
Yes.
That name, yes.
We destroy everything, and everybody know we CPEP. And although it could have been CPEP, but CPEP should have been into agriculture.
Yes.
URP and CPEP should have been, because we had converted URP to, you know.
Yeah.
They were making the school furniture. Because we used to import school furniture, school benches from China, you know.
I remember that.
Oh God! We just remember my administration only one term in government, you know, 4 years, because the things we were doing to Begonian did not understand them. Although we explained it to them, but all they want was a little walk, and we say, hey, we bring a sustainable thing here, that you would have never been unemployed. They didn't understand that, but now they're beginning to understand. Oh God. Let me hope that we change this thing very quickly.
Let's take a next comment from Mr. Anderson.
And we have a lot of water. Springs in Tobago pushing out water so much that Trinidad get out some. But of course we know that. As you know, we produce the well in by Dwight York Stadium, 750,000 gallons of water per day that comes out of that and put into the system. We have one at Mason, all the same thing. Laptis, we have one. Laptis only is about a smaller one.
But does this be transported to Trinidad as well, or just...
No, the water. No, he was saying that we could do that even to give them some.
Oh, right.
But the point I'm making is, the one at Mason only 750,000. That is why pipe don't lock off as it used to long ago. Because it used to take surface water alone from the rivers. And as soon as the rain fall, the river get turbid, we lock off everything. Hotel shut down. So we now go underground and drill these wells. And in fact put them on stream. The one in Bloody Bay producing 1.2 million gallons of water per day you could take out. That was the bottling plant, the Ringbank water, that we were going to be exporting to the world to make money.
Yes.
That's right. So that's why you say we could have get rid of that water.
Right. Good.
And then when the rain fall, now we're saying that we should have been putting on these ponds. 6 months a year we have water. And as soon as the dry season begins, the farmers they don't have no water.
None at all.
And that water, but I have seen it in Israel. That water would have been provided here so that the farmers would have dedicated line run to the farming communities in Tobago. The large farms in Tobago, not only doing kitchen and garden and so on. The large farms in Tobago, Goldsboro, and even down here too, they're doing farming down here. And they would have been able to be producing food year round without having to run out of water. And not treated water, not chlorine water, but that would have been water with a specific pipeline. I think we said we were going to color that one the red. Yeah. So anytime we see a red pipeline, is agriculture farming going to.
Yes.
And that we were not going to run out of water, the water run down into the sea. Millions of gallons, hundreds of millions of gallons in the rainy season. And soon as the dry season begins, we have no water for the farmers. And we give them treated water, chlorine water to do the plant. All of that is sit down on. Those plans were prepared, you know.
Look at that.
I mean, sometimes I come here, you have to have patience, you know.
Yes, for that.
I really have patience, you know.
Okay.
You don't need to be, I'm talking about dams that have to be built for the farmers. You don't need dam. Underground well is the thing to go. Because dam costs billions of dollars to build, you know. And when you finish building these dams as I'm talking about, these dams are dams that are dealing with surface water. And you have to spend billions of dollars to treat it.
Yes.
If you notice, when last we do a dam in Tobago,
That is so true.
we don't do that. Hillsborough
Yeah.
goes, Hillsborough Dam, you have the Richmond, you have Corland, you have them. But we producing more water than them from underground. And you don't have to have all these big treatment plants to treat those. So dam is not the way to go. And then you have to maintain these so much.
Yes.
That's not the way to go. Except the dam that we're going to be what we call sedimentation or settling pond. We trap the rainwater. Just remember Israel. Israel is desert. But yet they feed the world and they feed themselves. Is the war? I mean, if you see what happened there, man, we would have been doing the same thing in Tobago. All this rain that fall, we are going to trap that water into ponds in Tobago to feed the country. You can treat it and drink it too.
Drink it, yes.
But we were also going to be using that water, not treated with chlorine, for our farming communities, that we would have water for our farming sector in Tobago right throughout the year. They're producing food. Not this elaborate kind of stuff about them. We have to spend time with our communities, you know.
Yes. So true that.
Yeah, you don't have to build a next dam in Tobago. Where you going to dam? Which river? You don't have to dam the river in Tobago.
Oh, that's Mr. Anderson's.
Yeah, you don't have to build. All natural in Tobago. And you know, Teron, and that's, you know, I never thought about it. But a fellow a couple of weeks ago said to me, Mr. Charles, you know, he was saying something to us. A fellow from Montgomery. About if there's going to be another wall where it's going to be for water. No, and it's true.
And it's true.
And he said,
you have a good point.
and you talk about the bottling water. And you talk about, and then we're not going to be bothering with oil and gas, although we're going to have it for our own reason here.
Yeah.
This fella reminded me about what I said. But this is the part that you tell me that I never thought about. He said, you know, because I said all of this, and I said, and you know, if the water spill, it goes back into the natural habitat because it belongs to the place.
Yeah.
But when oil spill, you have to spend billions of dollars to clean it up. But that's not the part. I said that to him. This is the part he said to me. He said, you know how much a liter of water is more expensive than a liter of oil? You know it's true? And gas? 1 liter of premium is $5.75.
Yes.
1 liter of super is $4.97. You get a liter one over $3 or $4
Yes, I see Mr. Curtis Lee.
But you know,
That one Tobago voice have to take where it come. This coming from Mr. Leacock there. That one Tobago voice have to take.
no, Curtis, I want to spend some time with you. The recommendation from one Tobago voice
Yes.
is the very recommendation. Well, there's a little shortfall in it and so on. That is before the parliament just to be passed. So the thing is already there. And once Tobagonians speak with one voice, that will be delivered. You don't have to go down there.
Yes.
We can stay right in Tobago and speak with the one voice. Just like Dr. Williams and Dr. Rujanal Caballero did not go to the British Parliament because they have no local standby there. They're not a member. But they spoke and a document was prepared and the Secretary for State for the colonies carried it in the Parliament as Trinidad decision. Both government and opposition. They just had to pass it because that's what the international law said.
Right.
So Tobago doesn't have to go down there.
Yes.
It would have been the ideal thing, just like Robinson Murray would have gone there and moved the motion, and the parliament would have already taken that decision to grant us our self-government.
Yeah.
What we need to do now is to come back with one voice and say deliver.
Yes.
And once we come and speak with one voice and say deliver, it will be delivered, or else Tobago will take a matter to the international forum, the Court of Justice, and the United Nations. And Trinidad would not want that because they're going to be embarrassed because you can't sign the document and say, we believe in this and this is what we have to do. They have no control over it, you know. They have to deliver.
Yeah, to deliver, yes.
So you don't have to be down there. Let us come together in Tobago, you don't go down there. Water is life.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
It is.
Well, you know, it is said that, you know, air is really life. Water is really essential to life. But we leave it so. We're not going to criticize that.
Yes,
we can't live without water. That's quite true. Everything is water.
Yeah, so true.
Your whole body is what? Based on your age and all that, is 75% to 7%. Some part of your body, 90% is water, like your brain. This body that you have here.
Yeah.
70%, 75% is water.
Why we always sweating everything?
Yeah. It's water. So you're quite right.
Yeah, you're quite right, yes. You have a good point there.
Yeah, we don't have to take no more recommendation to Parliament. It's already down there.
Yes.
In fact, in 1977, the Parliament passed that one voice thing without give us our power. Is the final stage that is there now. But what is holding it up is that all at Tobago not saying the one voice, give us our thing.
Give us, yeah.
So this is not for anybody to go down.
Exactly such. Oh, yes.
We will stay right in Tobago and talk.
Yeah.
Just like when Trinidad went, Rujanat Capildi of the DLP and Dr. Williams of the PNM did not go in the parliament to say nothing. You can't go there and talk because you're not a member of the British Parliament. We're not a member of the Trinidad Parliament.
Yes, so true.
So let us stay in Tobago and say one voice, give us.
Yes.
That's it.
No, we need it. So
I'm teaching you all something, you know, that nobody else teaching you all, and it's true. The mama guy you all. When we were saying this in 2015, do not vote for any party, any candidate that will become member of the ruling party or of the opposition. Because when you do that, you're creating a problem. And they would not be able to speak on your behalf. No, people recognize that to be true. The opposition and the PNM did not tell them so. They were telling them that Dr. Rowley and Shamfa go give it the self-government. When they get into parliament, they recognize. And come back and say, we want to give you what we can't give you because we don't have enough votes to give you.
Yeah.
I told you all that in 2015.
Yes.
They lie to you all, you know. They
Yeah.
deceive you. And I'm telling you something that is true. Do not believe nothing that you're hearing they're telling you now, because I know candidates out there telling you that you want a Tobago voice to go down to say. You don't want no more voice. The voice must be a Tobago voice speaking right in Tobago. Because it's already there. It would have been good and great if we could have been down there to be able to sit down there and articulate it properly, let everybody hear you and listen. Well, you don't need that. We need us to come together in Tobago with one Tobago voice. That is why that name was given to it. One Tobago voice, not a Trinidad voice.
Yes.
The Tobago voice. Once we come and say so, that will be delivered. And hear this well. Because remember, whether the PNM like it or they are the ones who now carrying it because they are the government.
Yes.
So it is the other people, the others come together except the PDP. And the PDP is not part of one Tobago. Let me say this again. The PNM is the one who have been always didn't want Tobago to get this. But it happened. They are the ones now that carry this new thing in Parliament. So now it requires the rest of Tobago to say, give us.
Yeah.
The only party in Tobago that is not on board, that is the PDP. And the PDP is not on board because the PDP is the agent of the UNC in Tobago. And that's not a joke.
Yes.
Hear me. They tell him don't come on board. Just like they would have done with Mr. Ashok Jack in 2013.
Yes.
And Jack is my colleague now, but they don't understand.
You don't understand.
You can't understand yet because he's the agent of the UNC just so.
Yes, Mr. Curtis. I say I will have to follow up on it because it's like right. Yes.
Hopefully, it may last longer than before. What?
Right.
No. Once Tobago say yes, it will be passed this time because there is nothing else they can add. In terms of what is before there, just remember they gave us one increment, one installment in 1980. We worked that installment of self-government, which is not the full thing, until 1996 December. In December 1996, when the new legislation was passed, they give us Chief Secretary, Executive Council, they add on some more power. There can be nothing else to add but now the lawmaking and the executive power without cabinet, which was the thing we're waiting for.
Yes.
All Tobago need to do, don't let nobody mama guy you and go along the road on stupidness. All we require to do is to speak with one voice.
Yes. Mr. Anderson said, I will really love to see how the new Tobago airport will be like after.
Where?
That's commentary.
Yeah,
right?
but which one?
That's this one here.
The new will be like after it's finished.
Yeah. After
Like which one of the airport?
Well, you're talking about the Tobago airport.
You're not talking about the renovation anyway. No. He may be talking about the new, the new where they're relocating the people. Maybe talking about a new terminal building.
Well,
I don't know.
We don't know.
I wonder which one. But God will make sure that happens, you know.
Well, Mr. Anderson, let us know which one you're talking about.
I believe must say the new one you're talking about.
Yes,
Because he said the new Tobago airport. So it could be, it's a terminal building, you know. They're not changing the airport, you know. All they're doing is to build a new terminal building. Relocating the people, disrupting their life to put a new terminal building, which is unnecessary.
Yes.
That's the point we're making. And that's why he's saying he would like to see how it will look after it finished. I hope that we're not going to be here to see that the people relocated and that is finished.
Yes.
All you need to do, and especially now with what's going on in the world, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And government should not be going on spending money, going down the road with that, when the whole tourism thing shut down in the world.
Yes.
There are other things we can do with all these plants in Tobago.
Yes.
We said so. We were talking about niche.
Yeah.
Because the rich people with money about the world, this is a massive tourism. They come to go in places in a villa, in a place like in Castar. You notice Castar tourism always up.
Yes,
they will spend any kind of money to live in that kind of setting. They are accustomed living in big apartment building with an elevator. They come down here to get away from that, you know. Eating all these things where you want to cook for them, they want to eat some Tobago food.
Yes. I see Mr.
At a local destination.
See Mr. Lico say take the position. That's
Yeah, we should. Oh, take the position, people. The person before.
Before, yeah, the person's. Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand.
Mr. Leacock, I'm trying to get a little more highlights.
Love to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that already. Love to see how the airport will look. But this one is the person.
Yeah. Mr. Leacock, if we could make that a little more
Wow.
clear for us to understand.
Hello.
Woo! And I tell you that we over.
Is
we
that right?
run over time, but nevertheless, we always here to educate.
New one. Oh yes, Terran Anderson's a new one.
Yes.
All right. I pray to God that that new one that you're talking about, that we will do the renovation on the one they're renovating now, because the area that they want to, the new terminal building that they're going to build, will be providing very little more than this one after it is renovated, including the apron and the parking area. Wait down there now. What we have down there now is just the same amount of plane will be able to be accommodated on the new one. So why are we spending the money? I know why, but we're not going to discuss that today. Anyhow,
don't forget,
wow.
people, every Tuesday, but don't forget this coming Tuesday, we don't know as yet because we'll be doing some improvements inside the studio again. So after that, look back for us again. We will be coming here to
thank you all very
and
much.
to keep you in tune. So
Always a pleasure.
Prepare all your questions because Mr. Charles will be here to answer all.
Always a pleasure chatting with you all.
Every
Giving
Tuesday.
you all information so that you will be empowered.
Thank you. And that's every Tuesday from 5:30.
Yes.
Okay? So with this one, we say good night, and don't forget, always tune in. All right? And to the people out there with the coronavirus, all be careful. With this one, I'll leave you all with this.
Social distancing is important.
There was a little a black boy was he. The boy went to school and he come out unseen. He never learned how to read, he never learned about math. Never learned how to write, he never studied about that. All he studied was his speakers, his sneakers and clothes. He learned how to dress and he learned how to pose. He can't get no work, he can't get no job. He decide to steal and he decide to rob. But little black boy couldn't last long at all. The police put a bullet through his dunce head skull. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy.
And that's the whole answer to everything. People, I'm not saying little black boy, little black girl, but I'm saying everybody tune in because this is what it is all about, all right? So make sure that you're inside with it. So on behalf of myself and the entire crew, it was nice being inside with you guys. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe.
We need to talk about the determinants of property. The next time we gotta make sure that
we gotta deal with that. Out.
There was a little black boy was he. The boy went to school and he come out unseen. Never learned how to read, he never learned about math. Never learned how to write, he never studied about that. All he studied was his speakers, his sneakers and clothes. He learned how to dress and he learned how to pose. He can't get no work, he can't get no job. He decide to steal and he decide to rob. But little black boy couldn't last long at all. The police put a bullet through his dunce head skull. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and off poverty. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and all poverty. Why, yeah, 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 why, yeah, yeah. Why, yeah, 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 why, yeah. There was a little black boy, a rude boy was he. All the boy ambition was to conduct a maxi. With a ring in his nose, a gold teeth in his mouth. He feel very proud when they call him a tout. So proud was the boy that the boy never learned. He could have worked hard and buy a maxi of his own. So he hustled for $1, he hustled for a smoke. He hustled so that he could buy a little coke. Now he hook on the coke and off the maxi. And one more little black vagrant in the country. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and off poverty. Little black boy, think about your race. Little black boy, when will you find your place? Little black boy, go to school and learn. When you're black, you just black. You can't help but being black. But because you are black, you don't stay in the back. Be black, but be conscious. Be black, but be conscious. Look in the front, see who's the doctor. Look in the back, see who's the lawyer. Look in the bank, see who's the banker. Look at the business, who's the owner. Look at the staff, see who's the worker. Look at the truck, see who's the damn man. Look who eating out of them garbage can. Look in the jail, see who you see too. A lot of little black boy just like you. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and off poverty. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, you have to show some concern. Little black boy, think about your race. Little black boy, when would you find your place? Why, yeah, 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 why, yeah, yeah. Little black boy, take a look at yourself. Little black boy, take a look at yourself. Little black boy, put your guns on the shelf. Little black boy, watch what you do. Little black boy, take a good look at you. Little black boy, look at other people too. Little black boy, is that the way you should be? Little black boy, don't put drugs in your vein. Little black boy, it would drive you insane. Little black boy, addle your brain. Little black boy, don't you be no fool. Little black boy, keep yourself in school. Little black boy, when you're black, you just black. You can't help but being black. But because you are black, you don't have to stay back. Be black, but be conscious. Brother, be black, but be conscious. 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 Be black, but be conscious.
Right, and this is what we say to do, right? So don't forget, GLS 103.5. Thanks for being in our company. I want to say good afternoon to my good boy NKA, better known as Nashon. And also don't forget you were entertained by Mr. Ochoy Charles this afternoon. Good afternoon to all the people that was on the live, Curtis, Mr. Anderson, to everyone who was sending comments, even Mr. Winston, everyone. Good night to you and yours. All right, hopefully, as I said, if you often seen us Tuesdays, because we're going to be doing some renovation inside studio. Otherwise, follow us the following Tuesday. But still tune in case. On behalf of myself and the whole entire staff, it was nice being here. Enjoy the rest of your night.